shellfish, dogs, cats, and skunks, because those are all animals. Those animals are not meant to be eaten. They are meant to grab waste from the environment, store it, and then they die. They're not waste removal systems. They are garbage cans. So if you look at a pig or a dog or a cat or a skunk, and you might say, no one would ever eat a dog, cat, or skunk. They do in other countries. But particularly, we are infatuated with pork, and so are European countries, I've noticed, particularly Italy. A pig has a structure that is similar to a human, and that is a monogastric. It has one stomach. The animals God says to eat in Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14 that are land animals, I'm talking about cow, goat, sheep, buffalo. They have a 4-chamber stomach where they can chew the cud or the grass, digest it, and become powerful, well-muscled animals, whereas pigs will eat anything. Pigs, shellfish, dogs, cats, and skunks.
First and foremost, we like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors be unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation be unto the brothers across the 4 corners of the earth, pushing the gospel of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach in all spirit and truth. Alright, this is the brother Tazwa here from the Trinidad GMS camp, coming back to do our lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Alright, and this lesson gonna be based upon the reason why God says what to eat and what not to eat, and does it make sense, right? So we now listen to a clip there from a guy who was basically giving you the raw facts on foods, right, and what to eat and what not to eat. And he was giving you a little insight on the digestive system and how what does make them unclean and what will make it unclean or hazardous or unhealthy for you to eat it. But people in this modern day and time seem to think that this guy, they have a misunderstanding due to their own desire to eat nastiness, right? Due to their own desire to eat nastiness, they have a self-inflicted misunderstanding about when Peter got the vision about the all manner of unclean beasts, and the Lord tell him, what the Most High has cleansed, let no man call unclean. Which that was a representation. The unclean beast that he saw was a representation of the Israelites who wasn't circumcised, who the Lord was bringing and was cleansing them to come into the fold, because it had a big problem with the uncircumcised Israelites who the Apostle Paul was commissioned to go and preach unto, which is the Gentiles that this Bible does talk about, and they equate that to eating the things that the Heavenly Father say not to eat. And for the lack of knowledge, again, people going and perish, right? So we going into it, right? So let me get up before I go to Leviticus 11. Let me go to the Hosea 4 and 6, and here it says here, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou have rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Right? So, because they reject knowledge, they have great destruction going and come to you in many different forms and fashion. So we're going to read you a little bit in Leviticus 11 and see, right, how many things that the Heavenly Father command you not to eat and what to eat, right? And the Heavenly Father said he changed not. Therefore the sons of Jacob is not consumed. So let we get to it. This is Leviticus 11, verse 1, and it says here, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parted the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud, among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Notwithstanding, these shall ye not eat of that chewed the cud, or of that divided the hoof, as the camel, because he chewed not the cud, but divided the hoof. He is unclean unto you. The coney, because he chewed the cud, and divided not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. Right? So, there we go, and see what is a coney. Right? So, we are going to Google. Right? And we will put it in and we will see what we will get. There we go to images. Alright, so a coney is a rat. So manicu. And all these different things in them. Right? So you seeing it here? In our country here, rat, rabbit, all these different things come from the same family. And our country does eat rabbit, does eat something called the manicu, which is the possum. Right? That is a big dish here. So the Heavenly Father said that is unclean unto you. It says, and the here, because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. So let me go on and see what is here now. So that is the rabbit now. So the rat is the coney, and the here is the rabbit. And this is a delicacy in many countries. Alright? This is unclean. The Heavenly Father say that this is unclean. So we go in again. And the swine, well, we all know what swine is. That is the pig. That is the main thing with the fella I was talking about. He say like people have an infatuation with pigs. So let me go to Isaiah chapter 66. We will start from verse 14. Right here it says here from verse 15 go on now. It says here, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. So why when the Heavenly Father come, he going and rebuke you with flames of fire? For what? Right? Verse 16 it says here, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination of the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. So the Heavenly Father going and cast such a judgment on these people because why? They're sanctifying themselves. They're saying bless and eat. And this is just rather to fuel their, unclean desire to eat whatever they want. Right? So, what more proof you want? Let me read this one before this part of the installment for part 2, because we're gonna be doing some parts here. So before this part finish, let me read this one thing, because the Heavenly Father changed that. Right? Because Peter say had not at no point in time had anything unclean entered into my mouth. So it's not that Peter was talking about. Alright? So let me get our precept. As a matter of fact, we go finish this installment and we'll come back with part 2.